So this is a full-length tutorial on how to create this cuff from start to finish. I feel like some people might prefer each step explained instead of like going to one video, figuring out how to do the X base, going to another video to figure out how to do a 3D cuff. So this way you could just go from start to finish, step by step. Also, making Kandi is a little time consuming. So if you need to take a break in the middle of it, there's gonna be like chapters on the bottom. And so there'll be like the X base, layer 1, layer 2, step 1, step 2, step 3. So you could take a break and figure out exactly where you left off, come back to the video and finish the cuff. So yeah, here's the full tutorial. So for this cuff, we need to start off with 36 beads. I would do something similar to this color pattern. I chose one color and one of another. The reason why we have 36 is because we're alternating colors. If we took one off, we would have orange back to back with orange. And so that doesn't fit the color scheme. So you could do 36, you could do 42 to make it a little bit bigger. But it has to be, you have to make sure the color at the end isn't the same color to begin with. So I finished tying off the bracelet. The color scheme continues after I follow, so it's orange, blue, orange, blue. You could do any color, and then the connecting bead, you could do any color. I chose to do black. And then for this part, you could do any color scheme as well. We're gonna build off of this and create a 2X before we make the cuff. So add 3 beads. And then go to the next connecting bead. And then continue all the way around. So I'm at the last 3 beads of this part. I'm gonna put them on my string and go through the same on the next connecting bead that I've been going through. And so I went all the way around. My string ended up here, and then I have to go through the next 2 beads to get to the next level. I'm gonna go through the white and the black. Pull the string through, and that is this part. The next part, we're going to add 3 more beads and go through each connecting bead. So this part is pretty much the same as the previous part. We put our 3 beads on, and then we go through the next connecting bead. For this one, it's going to be the black points. I'm using the same color scheme, and I'll continue adding 2 whites and 1 black until we've finished this 2X base. So it should look like this. Continue going all the way around. So I'm at the last 3 parts of this section. This completes 1X. We're gonna do we're gonna add 3 more beads 2 more times to make a 2X base. Oh shoot, I went through the wrong way. So I've added my 3 I'm gonna go to the next connecting bead, and then I'm gonna go through the next two to continue building on the cuff. Go through this bead, go through this one, and go through the next one. It's hard to see. So here's my last 3 beads. I added on, went through this one, went to the next 2, and pull. And so yeah, here's our 1X. We're gonna add another row of white, another row of white to make 2 X's. So I kind of ran out of the white beads that I was using. I was using these, and then I usually go to the same store and buy the same bead, but this one's different. It's much bigger. It should be fine. We'll see when it's done. But this part's pretty much the same. 3 beads, go through each connecting bead, and we'll do the same thing one more time, and then we'll get onto the 3D part of this cuff. So I put 3 beads on. See how these beads are much bigger, but it's fine. This is the X base, so it'll get covered up. So yeah, continue around the cuff. So I'm at the last 3 beads of this section. Probably don't have to show you this because it's the same exact thing as the last 2 steps, but I just want to go through each major step. So I'll go through the next 2 beads and do the same thing one more time. Same 3 beads. So one more time, we're gonna do 3 beads and go through the next connecting bead. This will complete our 2X base. And then, yeah, should be looking the same. Do this all the way around. These are the last 3 beads that you'll put on during this section. I know it's really repetitive, but we're adding layers. So now we're done with the 2X part. Here's 1X, here's 2X, and then see the difference in beads? This is the smaller bead and this is the big one, but it's okay. For this part, we're gonna be adding these colors on the other side. So my string ended here, and I'm going across this way. So I need to add on 2 blue, and then I'll add on 2 orange, 2 blue, 2 orange, and so on. So this is the complete X base. All the colors match up across, and now we're gonna start building the 3D part going upward. So for this part, we're gonna put on 5 beads and then go to each connecting bead, which for me, it's gonna be the black. I chose to do all black because this part is gonna get covered by the ladder at the end of the cup. So it doesn't really matter what colors we do here. You could do a color that you've had for a while just to get rid of it. And so I put on 2 sections just now, and so it should look like this. We're building upward, and so we're gonna do a ladder across the whole cup, so this will all get covered. Keep adding your 5 beads on and going all the way around. So I'm at the last set of beads for this section. I put my 5 beads on, and I go through the same connecting bead that I have been going through. But we're at the end of this section, so we have to get to the next level. So we go to the next point, which will be my white. So go through the 2 black and the white. And then pull the string through, and we're on to the next section. So in this part, we're going to be adding 2 beads and going down to this bead, the one across from this one. We're replicating this side. So let me show you. We're going to put 2 beads on our string. I'm going to go down to this one, the one that's across on the other side, and pull our string. So it should look like that. We're going down. And then from here, we're gonna go to this point, and then back down to the bottom bead, point, down, and so on. I'll show 2 more, and then I'll speed up the video. Two beads on, go through the next connector bead. So it's like a zigzag motion. Down to this beat, up, down, up. So this is what it should look like. It should look like a pyramid. And we're gonna build this pyramid at every section. These are the last 2 beads of this section. Go ahead and put them on and go through the next connector bead. And so if I put the last 2 beads on, I end up on a point, and we want to get back down to one of these beads so we could do the pyramid on this side again. So I'm gonna go through the next 2 beads, following my string, go through this bead, and then that'll get us ready for the next part. This part is the same exact part that we started here. We put on 5 beads and we went to this black one, 5 beads black. So over here, we're gonna put 5 beads on our string and go over to this one. 5 beads, go to this one, and so forth. So I'll show you the first 5 that I put on, and then I'll speed up the video. I'll put my 5 on, go to the connecting bead directly across from where my string's coming out, pull it, and so we should get another TP on this side, and then this will be the pyramid for this X. Yeah, keep doing that all the way around. I'm at the last set of beads for this section. We put our last 5 beads on, go through the same connecting bead, and then go to the next level by going through the next 2 beads and then the connector bead. Oh man. And then we pull our string. Oh. And yeah. So in this part, we're gonna do the 2 bead part again. We're gonna add 2 beads, go down to the connecting bead that's across from here, and then up, down, and so forth. So I'm gonna go add 2 beads. So I'm starting at the point, I'm gonna go down across to the other connecting bead, add 2 more, go to the top connecting bead, pull the string, and should look like that. So we're gonna go this bead, top, this bead, top. I'm at the last section of beads for this part. Put my 2 beads on and then go through the same connecting bead that I have been going through. Pull the string, and this is how your cuff should look. For this section, we're going to be adding beads and going to each point and adding 1 more pyramid before we do the ladder across. So I decided to do all black. We're gonna need 7 beads for this section. I decided to do all black because this is gonna be the underneath color and I don't want it to take away from the ladder. I'm just trying and seeing how it'll look. If you chose a different color or one of the colors that you have the most of that you just wanted to get rid of, I think it would still look really good. The first one I made was all like maroon color and it looked really good. But this is what we're gonna do. 7 beads, 3 on each side with 1 point in the middle. And so keep adding 7 beads onto the cuff and going to each point. So I've already added the last 7 beads onto my string. I'm gonna go through the same connecting bead and then I wanna get to the next point. So I'm gonna go through 3 beads and then 1 more. I'm gonna go through 4 beads. So right now, the cuff kind of looks kind of messy. That's because the string isn't tight all the way around. Because this is such a big point, I would go around and tighten the string all around. And then for me, if you did all the same color like I did, it might get confusing where the point is, because it was easy with these because it would be a different color. So make sure you do 3.3 and then just pull your string all the way around. So I pulled the string all the way around. The points look better, but I guess it doesn't matter because in the end we're gonna cover them. But when you pull the string, you save more, you get rid of all the slack all the way around. So the next part is we're gonna add 3 more beads and then go down to this point, back and forth, zigzag, just like these small pyramids. It's the same thing. Like I said, the next part, we're gonna be adding the legs to our pyramid. So add 3 beads. And then my string is going in this direction. So I wanna go to down, across from where the pyramid is. And then I put 3 more on and go to the point. And remember, if you did all the same color, and you might put it through the wrong bead, because it's kind of hard to tell with all the same color. So make sure you're doing 3, 3, and then 1 in the middle to go through. Pull your string, and it's the start of our top pyramids. Alrighty, so I've added the last 3 beads for this section. I'm gonna go to the same point I've been going through. And now I'm gonna tighten all the string all the way around just to keep the form better. But this is it for this part. Go ahead and tie off your string right here, and then we'll get into the ladder part for this cuff. So I just told you guys to like tie it off. Once you tie it off, go ahead and cut it. And then we're gonna use different string to attach the ladder. But I recorded 2 examples of how to do the ladder. The first one I recorded like the black outside layer, and it's hard to see because it's black on black, so I'm trying to explain. If you're having trouble following me or it's hard to see, skip to example 2. That I use like a gray color and it's much easier to see. So hopefully it's not too confusing. So yeah, here's the next steps. So I've already cut out a string here for us to use. I also already made 1 ladder going around the cuff. As you can see, the fishing line is there. And so I will be doing another one right here. So take the 2 ends of your fishing line, make sure the rest of the string is straight. And so we get our two ends. It's gonna be hard to see because it's thin and clear. So I laid out 20 of the outside color and then 18 of the inside color. We're gonna take 2 of the outside color and put 1 on each end of our string. And then put the ends together and get 2 of our inside color. And then we're gonna put both ends inside of the bead, and then do the same thing to the other bead. Now we're gonna separate the 2 ends and put 1 bead on each end, like that. Now, hold on to 1 end with it being short enough to tie a knot, because we want 1 end to be long to continue building. So with it, I'm holding on to both ends, but I'm only pulling 1, and this will tighten the beads that we just placed. And it should come out to this formation. So now we're gonna tie it off just by making a loop and putting the string under. Make sure the formation is there on the first knot, and then pull tight, make a couple more knots, and then cut the short end. Oops. So we have this, and we have this. I don't know what happened here. There's like a little loop. Maybe I didn't look at it correctly. So now yours should look like this with the string going that way. We want to string it in to one of these beads. Doesn't matter which one, but for me, it looks like it wants to go this way. So I'm gonna go in the direction of the string and go through this black bead. I'm gonna take my end of the string and go through that black bead and pull all the way through. This will make our string going out toward the opposite side. Now we're gonna attach it to the cuff. So with the end of our string, I'm gonna go through these two colored beads because this is the color that I'm working on, and I'm gonna attach it right here. So my string is going out here. I go through these two beads and then I string the string through the opposite side. Make sure you're not making a knot and going through a loop. So I'm pulling the string, and it should just attach like that. So now the string is going outside of this black. And so I'm gonna string it above. I'm gonna string it through this black, add 2 more orange, and go through the opposite side. I'm gonna go through here, add 2 of the inside color, and go out the opposite side and pull. Now we're gonna add 2 black, or the 2 outside color right here. So I'm gonna put 1 black onto my string and go through the 2 beads we just added. And pull. So this one is a little different. We're gonna add another black onto our string, or outside color, whatever color you are doing. Put 1 outside color right here. I'm gonna go through this black. I'm gonna go through these 2 beads and then out of this black. It's important that you're going outside of this bottom one because we're gonna loop back around to this one. So I'll show that right now. I'm gonna add 1 bead onto my string. Go through this bottom black. I'm gonna go through these 2 middle ones. And then go through this black one. And pull. So we just added these 2, and then our string is going out of this bead, and we're gonna loop back around to this one and add 2 more. And it's pretty much those 2 steps as we build forward to the other side. We're gonna add 2 middle color, then 2 outside. 2 inner, 2 out. I'm gonna show it, those 2 steps again, in case these 2 weren't clear, and then I'll speed up the video. So my string is left over going outside of this black. I'm gonna beat it through this top black, add 2 middle color, and go out the opposite side. And pull. So the next step is to add 2 black right here. So I'm gonna put 1 black onto my string, go through the 2 beads we just added, and then to make things easier, I'm gonna add another black to my string now and just go through those beads that I need to, and then pull the string afterwards. So I went through this one, I'm gonna go through these 2, and I'm gonna go through this one right here. And now I'm gonna pull my string. Pull it tight to keep the form, and there we go. Here, I'm gonna show it one more time because I know this is different. So my string right now is going outside of this black. I'm gonna string it back to the top, add 2 middle color, go out this bead. Go through that one, add 2 beads, go out the opposite side, and pull. Now I'm gonna add 2 outside color. I'm gonna put 1 onto my string, go through the 2 beads we just added, add 1 more outside color, go through the one below, go through the 2 middle ones, and go out this one, and pull. Just like that. Keep doing that until we reach the other side. All right, so I'm at the last set of beads. It's the same step going on, go through the middle section, and then after this, I will show you how to attach it to the other side. So those were the last 2 beads of this section. And after I place them, my string is going out here. I still want it to go to the inside of this, so I'm gonna string it through this outside bead. Pull. And now I'm gonna string through these 2 beads on the other side. And then I will go through this bead. And you can tie it off here. I go through these 2, I go through this one, and then I loop back around to this side. It just makes it more tighter, and then it's easier to tie it if you do that. Because if you just go through these 2 beads and tie it off here, it's a little loose because you're trying to pull on it at the same time as tying it off. I'll show you. So go through the opposite side and go through this one and pull. So So my string was right here. I went through these two, then I went out this one and I pull, and it attaches it to the other side, like that. So you can tie it off right here, go through there, make a loop, tie it off. But I go through this one, go to the other side and tie it off. It's a little easier. I'm gonna go through, and this one doesn't really matter which ones you're going through, you just need to get to the other side. So my string's right here, I'm gonna tie it to right here, just by making a loop. And then putting the end through the loop. And then do it again. Do it a couple times. And that should be good. Cut the extra. And we added one more. So I'm gonna show one more step by step, just in case this one was confusing. So I'm gonna show another part on how to do this. I'm gonna use a different color than what I've been using. It's kind of hard to see black on black. It's kind of blends in. So I'm gonna use gray so it stands out more. And I'm gonna do it over here away from these. I'm gonna cut this afterward, but this is just to demonstrate what we're doing. So I cut an arm length worth of fishing line. I get the two ends and I make sure the end is straight. I put two of the outside color onto each end, like that. Then I put the two fishing line ends together and I put two inside colors. I put both ends through each of the inside color, like that. Both ends are going through the inside bead. And I separate the ends again, and I put an outside color on each end, like that. Now, I hold onto both strings like this, and leave this much coming out, and then I only pull one end. I want all the beads to get pulled to this short end, and then I have a long string to work with. So once I pull the strings out, I should get a formation like this. And then I tie these ends together. On the first knot, make sure the formation is there, because the first knot is what matters. Really tight, then do another knot, and a couple more to make sure it doesn't come undone. Once you've tied it off, cut the short end. So this is what mine looks like. My string is coming out this way, and I have to get it through one of these. So my string is leaning toward this way. I'm gonna pull my string through this bead. and then pull. So now my string is going toward the opposite end, going on the inside. And now we're gonna string through these beads to attach this to the cuff. So my string is coming out of this bead toward the inside. I take my end and pull it through the section that I wanna work on. So for me, I wanna work here because I'm working with blue and I wanna attach it here. So I put my string through these two beads, and then I put my end through the opposite bead, across from where my string is coming out of. I pull, make sure nothing is knotting up. And so my string's coming out here, going through these two, and then out this one. And pull and attach. Pull tight to keep the form, and that's what it should look like. Yeah, this one's gonna be much easier to see. So now my string is coming out of here. I wanna loop it back to this one. I go through this one, add 2 beads, and go out this one. So I take my end, I'm going through this bead, I add 2 inside colors, and then I go through the bead across the way. And then I pull. And that's how I attach. So now I want to attach 2 more outside colors. For this side, it's a little bit easier. We're gonna add 1 outside color to our string and go through the 2 beads we just added. So I have my end, I put an outside bead on and go through the middle and pull. Like that. So now for this side, it's a little different. I'm gonna put 1 outside color on my string and go through this bead, go through these 2, and go out this one. So here's my end, put a bead on, go through this one. I went through this one, I'm gonna go through these 2. And then I'm gonna go through this one. And then pull. What the heck? There we go. And so we just added these 2. And now we're just gonna go back and forth from those 2 steps, add 2 more middle, then add 2 more outside, add 2 more middle. So my string is coming out here. I'm gonna loop it back through this one, add 2 more, and go through the opposite side. I went through that one, add 2 inside color, and go through the other side, and then pull. Like that. So now I'm gonna add 2 outside color. My string is coming out this one. I'm gonna put 1 outside color onto my string, go through the 2 that I just added. Now it's easier for me to add both beads right now. So I went through the 2 middle. I'm gonna add 1 more outside color for this side. I'm gonna go through this outside bead. I'm gonna go through these 2 inside beads. And then go through this outside bead. Make sure, because we're adding another bead, we have to go through the bottom bead that we're adding. So it's this bead. I'll go through this one and then pull my string. Like that. We just added these two. Now it's important that we go out this bead, the one below the one we just added, because we gotta loop back around and do the same thing. So hopefully this shows it a lot better than my first attempt. It's a lot easier to see with these gray on top of this black. So now I'm gonna super speed the video and show you how I attach it to the other side. So I'm at the last set of beads. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. And after this, I'll show you how to attach it to the other side. Hopefully I explained everything well enough for you to create this. So I just placed my last two beads on. And now my string is coming out of this bead. I still want it to go to the inside, so I'm gonna beat it through this bead. So now my string is coming toward the inside on this bead, just like how we've been doing. But now, instead of adding two more beads, we're gonna string it through these two beads, the ones directly across. And that's how we attach it to the other side. So I take my string, I string it through here, and then I string it through the opposite bead, this one. And then we pull our string, and it attaches to the other side. Like that. So now you can just tie it off here, or I like to tie it off on this side. I beat it through here, but you could do it however you'd like. So here is the finished cuff. There's one last thing I want to show you guys, and it has to do with this gap here. I fixed a couple of them around here, and it's when you initially tie this onto the cuff. Sometimes the string gets loose and you'll end up with these gaps here. This side, you can see there's no gaps. Each one's pretty tight, and I like things to be perfect, so I don't really like that gap. And so I'm gonna show you guys how to fix this. You take a string and you fish it through these two black, each end. And then you go through these two blue, and then you go through these two black, and then you tie it off at the end, and it'll shorten the gap. I'll show you really quick. So I already cut my string. I'm gonna take both of the ends, and the other end is just a loop. I probably cut too much fishing line, but I always cut too much fishing line. Put one end through the black and the other one through the bottom one. So if I could show you guys, I put one end of the string through this one and the other one through this one. And then I'm gonna continue the top string. I'm gonna put through these two black, or these two blue, and then the bottom one I'm gonna go through these two. And then I'm gonna go through the same thing on the other side. So the top one, go through the top blue and the top black. I take the bottom string and go through the bottom blue and the bottom black. And then pull. So that loop is right here. So when you pull, it pulls the whole thing, and then we're gonna tie this and it will get rid of that gap. And so the reason why I add too much, or I cut so much extra fishing line, is so I could tie so much easier. So I just do like 3 square knots. And yeah, that's it. Now the gap's gone. The gap was right here. And so now I just cut the excess string and that's it. That is it for this tutorial. I hope you liked the way your cuff turned out. Don't forget to tag me on Instagram or shoot me a message of what you create. I want to see your guys' finished products. And yeah, thank you guys for watching.